You obviously know Kung Fu.
Joining me today on the Kung Fu Driving Podcast, a special guest, Master Jose Torres, star of the upcoming film Killer X, due in front of all your eyeballs, February 2024. Master Torres, thank you so much for joining the show.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Now, we were talking a little bit before the show. There is some serious excitement coming from you regarding this project. Talk to me about that. How's it feeling?
Oh my God. I got to tell you, it's just so surreal. Like I told you before we went on air, I really appreciate the effort and, you help it out. And there's been a lot of great people that have kind of, embraced this movement and the project and are really trying to help move it forward. And we're just excited. I mean, we dropped the teaser, the first teaser last week, and really got some really amazing response. And, we believe in this project. I believe in this project so much. And I was even kind of blown away. Like, I was like, wow, we really did this. So, I'm excited, man. I really hope people like it. Like I said, we've gotten some really good response from the different people that have seen it, and it hasn't been all martial artists. It's just like, general public. So, the martial artists, I feel like, they're going to critique, man. They're going to look for different moves. And, I definitely got some stories to tell about that. But, the general public has been very receptive, kids and women and, generic males that aren't into martial arts, but they're like, man, what is this? I want to see it. So it's been very positive. And yeah, man, it's a dream come true for me. So I'm excited.
That's fantastic. Let's take a look at the teaser right here.
Just like that, you're quitting?
Just like that.
It is not like being a plumber or working for the fire department.
If I don't do it now, I never will.
The girl?
That'll be up to her.
See you around.
How'd that feel?
Oh my God. I gotta be honest. I probably watched it like, 2,000, 3,000 times. And I still crack up because I remember, when they said it to me, I was like, oh my God, like we really did this, and it's funny watching it again, because now I look at different stuff. Like,
sure.
I'm like, oh wow, or I remember this, it's funny. The last take, the last scene is I kind of do a look back.
Yeah.
And it was funny because we were teasing. I mean, think of it. If you're a martial artist, you're a martial arts fan, Gerald Okamura is a legend.
Absolute legend.
Absolute legend. I got to tell you, that guy's professional. That guy showed up. I mean, he was so awesome to work with and funny. He's just a great guy. So, I was nervous. Like, I felt like, man, I got to be on point with this guy, because we didn't have any action stuff. It was all acting. So I was like, man, I got to know my lines. I got to do this. And, I tried to be like, one take Torres. So, that turn back we only did that like once or twice. So I was excited that we hit it. So, you know what I mean?
Very cool. I mean, the action looks great in it. What was your take on how the action was portrayed just in that teaser?
It was funny because that's a combination of the large part of that is a major fight scene that happens in a warehouse. And I'm going into the warehouse and I can't give too much of the plot because obviously I want people to see the movie, but I'm obviously looking for somebody, and I end up fighting these warehouse workers. We call them the khaki, the warehouse khaki mafia gang. So everybody had khakis and black shirts. But the action was good, and I got to tell you, we didn't hold back. I mean, there was some shots that hit, some intentionally, some that didn't. I got hit. You know what I mean? I think the one shot there, you see my face turn. I'm trying to remember. I think he has braids. His name's David, and David actually hit me on set, and it was funny because we were keeping a lot of good space, but some of the body shots we made sure to make contact, so there was good reaction. But we had changed the choreo. The choreo changed like literally right before we shot, And everybody was excited. And I think David ended up throwing an extra punch when I was supposed to go to the one side. He punched that way. And it was funny because I got to share your story. I got hit. And as I see the punch coming, I'm like saying to myself, oh, wait a second. He's not supposed to be punching here. And I didn't do anything. I just let it hit me. Right. So my lip starts bleeding. The director's like, cut. Right. And that's a big concern because if my lip goes bigger or whatever. But it was funny because I got to tell you, because I felt like I was really pissed at myself because I'm like, wait a second, martial arts master for 40 years, you know what I mean? And I get punched in the face on a movie set. So I'm telling the story to my son, my oldest son, who's actually part of the movie as well. And, I tell him the story over the phone. And he's like, well, Dad, that's because you're Hollywood now. You're not Karate Man anymore. So you're not paying attention. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, I literally was like, hey, the choreo is this. I'm doing it. You're not supposed to hit me. And it was so funny because literally like 20 minutes after that, I was pissed off at myself because I said, I knew it was coming. And I literally took the shot because I was like, oh, it's in the scene, let me do it. And I was like pissed at myself. So that was fun. That was a cool memory. And then it was funny because everybody was rushing. They're putting ice on my lip. They're doing this. They're like, no, because obviously my lip can't get big. We still got almost, I think it was like 4 or 5 days and a lot of fighting. So, but yeah, that was definitely a funny story. Because I was like, I saw it coming and it was like, I'm getting hit right now. You know what I mean? And I didn't move. I was an idiot. I think it's in that teaser that you just saw. There's a part like I almost like turn, but you see my eyes closed and I get hit. That's a real hit. He really hit me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So was that the biggest adjustment from actual martial arts to movie martial arts? Just having to relearn how to react.
It really was, because we're taught to punch through the target, you're this, that, and you can't do that, because somebody will get hurt really, really bad. So, again, being a newbie at it, I'll be honest with you, it was difficult. Now, I did cheat a little bit because I had a lot of my, black belts or people that I trained with that they uki for me, we practice. So, they were able to take shots. They were able, I wouldn't be able to necessarily do that, with some actors or whatever, but there's some shots in there where we really hit it. We hit it hard to give that reaction. We almost had a scare. There was the one shot where the gentleman in the background right now is a guy by the name of Steve Clark. He plays one of the stuntmen there. And Steve's my first black belt that I ever promoted when I first opened my business. So he had trained with me for like 15 years. He's been out of it, kind of brought him in. And there's a scene which is in the teaser where I kind of turn him around and I throw his face into the pole. Well, we did that in 2 takes because on the second take, when I threw him, he slipped. And he oh my God, I got to tell you, like very dangerous. And it was like, there was dust on the floor. It was this. He put his whole body, I kind of threw. And he almost got hit, but it definitely sold. That's a real, that was like
man,
my minuscule. He missed that pole, but it was a learning curve, a lot of fun, but it's a lot of hard work, man. Kudos to the stuntmen that do it all the time. The actors, people don't understand how hard it is not to hit and still make it explosive.
Sure, yeah.
To something. I mean, that's hard, man. It really, really is. I think we sold it. I think in the teaser, for being the first one, I really, really think people are going to be like, okay, because there was no stuntmen, there was no line, there was no nothing. Like people were getting body shotted and elbowed in the face, you know what I mean? So, but it was all safe, of course, all safe. So.
Yeah, and as action film fans, as martial arts films fans, the selling of it is what we feed off of, right? And if it looks good on screen, that's what hypes us up and keeps us coming back.
Yeah. No, seriously. I mean, it was funny. One of the first fight scenes, you see a short scene. It's actually in the front of my dojang, where one of the killers comes in, and I kind of tell him to leave, and then we end up fighting. Well, that's one of my good friends, Shannon Bogan. He's a 6th-degree black belt. We bang all the time. So I got to tell you, that fight scene, that's hardcore. Like I got done that first day. I'll never forget. My forearms, because we didn't wear any pads. We're like, oh, we got this. My forearms, I was black and blue, like I had just been fighting for like, you know what I mean, a 10-round fight. And we were really hitting and moving. And it was a pleasure to work with him, to work with guys that, were so passionate. They were new like me, but we kind of we came together and we just made this thing happen. So it was a really, really cool experience. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it was just so amazing. It really, really was. Hard work though, man. It was grueling days, long 12-hour days, some days longer. I was beat up, man. By the end, I was definitely beat up, man. I was beat up. Yep, yep.
Beat up but satisfied, I'm sure.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, talk to me about the schedule though, because this isn't a Hollywood huge budget motion picture. So you're talking you didn't have stuntmen. You know, these are guys that you worked with and trained with. Gives you an appreciation for stunt professionals, I'm sure now, right? But so what was the schedule like for you? How long did you have to shoot? And you were talking about 12-hour days. Was it like that the entire time?
Yeah, like basically what we did was I only had 1 day off the whole shoot. I wasn't in.
Wow.
I mean, they kind of jam-packed it. So it was like 6 on, 1 day off, which I was still there in a producer role, making sure everything went well, and then kind of moved on. But we really did like some guerrilla shooting almost, I think it was like 15 days straight. I mean, we just ran. Yeah, we ran. And we were lucky because the cast, yes, was newbies, but we also had the main lead, Elena Choronova. You know, she's a real stunt and also actress. So she's worked on some professional sets. Gerald Okamura, obviously, you know, he was with us. We actually had a stunt consultant, Manny Ayala. He's been involved in a lot of films. A lot of big budget films. So he was a consultant for some of the days. But I was excited because I did get to choreograph a lot of stuff. And it was my first one. I'm sure I made a lot of mistakes, but I think that I really think people are going to be excited. Like, I'm going to be like, okay, like, yeah, you know, at least I think so. So, you know, you got to believe in it.
No, of course. And like I said, it looks great so far. Now the choreography and all that, how involved were you with that? Being that this was your first film, you know, were you involved with it every step of the way, or did you contribute here and there, or who really was kind of the guy that made sure all of the action came into place and fit?
So, you know, we were lucky to have Manny on set for majority of the days. There were some days that he wasn't there. But they choreographed like all my fight scenes. I choreographed all my fight scenes, which I was really, really excited. So that was like a dream come true. And I am absolutely gonna listen. If I die, you know what I mean? I'm gonna die by the sword or be victorious. So I'm letting everybody know, like, you know, we did that together. We rehearsed. There's some really cool stuff coming up. You know, I got to get a fight scene. William Christopher Ford's in it. We really have a really cool scene. There's a really cool, like, there's some twins I fight. There's a whole bunch, but I was really I was able to be hands-on, choreograph the scenes and work with these guys because they were local. Now, where it became challenging was like William Christopher Ford, who was in California. So we didn't really get to practice our stuff till he came. And it was like, you know, go over the choreo, okay, and let's shoot. Because again, it wasn't, you know, we weren't there for 3 months, you know, so it was like rehearse for an hour or two and then jump right in. And like I said, I can only commend the people. Manny was invaluable, you know, because he was like, hey guys, this shot will sell a little bit better. Do it this way. But like I said, there was days where, you know, it was just me and like Shannon, I think I told you, the gentleman that I fought in my school, that was us. There was nobody else. It was us and the director and the cameras, and we made it happen. So, you know, I'll take, you know, full credit if that one's bad, you know, that's all me. But no, it came out good. And then the end fight scene, you know, with William, we have a grueling fight scene in this warehouse. It was over 100 degrees temperature that day, you know, dirt. I mean, it was crazy, but the visual look of it, oh my God, I think people are going to go crazy because the warehouse, like you see in the background of me, that's a real warehouse. Like, we didn't like dress it up. Like, that's really a warehouse. And you know, everything went well, but it was definitely an amazing experience, a humbling experience. But yeah, all of my stuff, for the most part, I choreographed. I got to tell you, Manny did an amazing job. There's a really cool scene that happens in a hotel. I'm not in that one. That is one of the female actresses. He was very hands-on with them, did a great job. And like I said, he worked with us, but, you know, we got some weapons fighting. Like, there's some cool stuff that I think people are going to see. Yeah. It's not just, you know, I think this movie is going to give people kind of like that old school feel, you know what I mean? Kind of, because it's not John Wick. We don't have wires. We don't have explosions. We don't have any of this, but I think it's going to bring people in. It's going to be believable. And I think exciting. Like, people are going to be like, oh, like literally like, oh shit, he really hit him. You know what I mean? Like, people are gonna be like, wow, you know, like, yo, he just missed him, or hey, they really sold that. But, you know, there's like there's a fight scene of water. I mean, oh my God, it's some really cool stuff, you know. But there was like a lot of the high risk stuff, Manny was definitely there. He had to be there and helped. But like I said, my fight scenes, I was really able to kind of, get involved. There's some signature moves and stuff that I like to do. So I put that in there, but I'm excited. Yeah. It worked out really cool.
With all of the excitement that you're showing for the project, can you pick out one or two moments that you're just like, man, I can't believe that the public is going to see this. I'm so proud of this.
Wow. Oh man, I don't know if I can answer that. Like, because I'm so proud of the whole thing, like the way that manifests from the script, and like, we pulled it off. I was probably, the three. I'll have to say the three, and I don't want to say they're the best fight scenes, because I really like my fight scene with Shannon. I really love my fight scene, and I'll give a thing, like I told you, my son's in it. We have a special thing, but I'm not going to allude to what happens.
Cool.
So that for me is very memorable. Like I got to act with my sons, and that's like, listen, if this is the last thing I did on earth, like I got to do a movie with my kids. You know what I mean? Like, both sons fight in it. My middle son, he's too busy. He's a college soccer player, so he doesn't have time for movies. But he's in it. We snuck him in. But cool. My older son, he put in a lot of work. He plays one of the henchmen for the main villains. And we worked really hard on our thing together. That probably stands out as a memorable moment. The warehouse fight scene with the 4 guys. So now it's funny. Everybody remembers the iconic Ip Man scene with, he fights the 10 guys.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I'm going to try to make my trademark. Every time I do a scene, this warehouse mafia khaki gang is going to pop into every movie that I do. And it's going to increase by 2 guys. So the next movie, we're going to have 6 people I got to fight at the same time. My hope is to get to 20. You know what I mean? That'll be my mark. We'll see what happens.
Wait, are you alluding to a sequel already?
Absolutely, I am. Absolutely, I am. I am 100%. 100%. The sequel is we're going to make this thing happen, and we already have the storyline for it. And God willing, we're able to kind of move forward with it and maybe even make more than that. So it's a good story. I think people are going to be really, really excited. There's some depth to the characters. People are going to see some acting, some really good acting, and I'm probably proud of that, because I was very concerned. Cool. And I'll be honest, I was very concerned. Like, so every martial artist, let's be honest, has an ego. So everybody's like, hey, I could do this. I got this. I look good, right? So my martial arts, honestly, I was like, I'm okay. I think I'll do well. I think I could do it. I think I look good. However, my acting, I was concerned. I really, I tried to study. I tried to rehearse my lines. The one main lead, Elena, we rehearsed and did cold reads on Zoom for like months and months, because she was in California. But my wife, my movie wife in the film, we didn't get to rehearse, and we literally just read right there. So I'm very proud. I think people are going to see kind of like the character arc, the emotion. I'm not just one tone the entire movie. And they're going to see a softer side of Victor. They're going to see, and that's the character I play, Victor Reyes. They're going to see a soft side, a hard side, a badass side that, like, hey, this guy, is going to whoop some tail. And I feel like Victor's going to be believable. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to be like, hey, this is a guy I can believe in. Like, he had he's trying to walk this line, because, the premise of the movie is he's a retired assassin. So at one time he was a badass, right? But now he's a regular guy. He's a dad. He coaches soccer. He does karate. He's the local karate guy. And he's, trying to keep his wife happy. And throughout the movie, he's trying to keep this walk on this gray area. He still cares about his ex. He doesn't want to see her die, but he loves his family. And that's what he's protecting, the entire film. So that was a really cool character. And I think that people are going to relate to him. There's some really funny lines in it. So we had some comedic timing that went real well. I like I said, I really think people are going to be happy with it.
Props to the writer then for all of that.
Absolutely. Jim Towns, director. Our director Jim Towns wrote the film as well. He was a writer.
Very cool. Very cool. Talk to me then about some of your other castmates. You talked about Victor Reyes. You gave me a little bit of that of his character. Talk to me about the rest of your cast and some of their characters.
Absolutely. So the main female lead is Elena Choronova. She plays Ayana, who is a current assassin. And we had, been boyfriend and girlfriend at one time. And in the teaser, you see there's a scene of me kind of talking with her. It's kind of like an emotionally see my face, her face. That's kind of me like breaking up with her, saying like, hey, I'm leaving the business. I'm done with this. And I have to tell you, to have her as my first leading lady, she was amazing. She's a beautiful person. She was so like nurturing and understanding. And like, she wanted me, she was really cool to kind of bring out the best in me and allow me to kind of grow as an actor. And she was great feeding off, but she was just great attitude on set. She was a pleasure to work with. But her character, Ayana, she's badass. Like, she kills quite a few people in the film. So I would mess with her. But to have her as my first leading lady, she was just, like I said, a great human being. And I hope I get to do, more films with her. She's the second lead. William Christopher Ford, from Karate Kid 3, 52 Masters.
Yeah.
He just has such an iconic look with his hair. And his character plays the character Joe Gondo. And he's really cool, man. He's got a lot of comedic timing, very serious. He's a great martial artist. He moves phenomenal. I think people are really going to like our fight scenes. Again, I remember I got done with him, man. I think he gave me a kick in the chest. Oh my God. I got a footprint. I think I had a black and blue footprint on my chest for like 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
It's so funny because he's such a warm guy too.
Oh my God. When you meet him, you're like, this guy's right. He's just a beautiful, nice human being. I'm telling you right now, he put a hurt on somebody. He will put a hurt on somebody. He plays a really cool character. Trying to think. We also got, like I said, a lot of newbies that people are not going to know. We have these twin Chase Malarkey. They're going to play these twin assassins. Chase and Connor Malarkey, Division I wrestlers, used to be for Rider University, and they play two guys. They're not in this, but I think you're going to see them in the next teaser that comes out. And some really good people. Now, Jessie Groover plays my wife, Danielle, Danny, we call her. Phenomenal, great actress. She was really cool to work with. She plays my wife, and you guys will get to see her in the next teaser. And yeah, I mean, like I said, just some really, really cool characters. A couple I can't mention yet. They're kind of surprises, so I can't really talk about yet. But there's some really cool stuff. And like I said, Gerald Okamura, just a legend to work with, absolute legend to work with.
But we have a couple of stills from the production, and I don't know if we can show them all, but I'm gonna throw them on screen, and you talk me through a little bit about what we're seeing.
Absolutely. Oh, all right. So on the left there, that is the amazing Elena Chornova. She's on the left there. She's got the jean shorts. But on the right, some of you guys might recognize, maybe you don't. That is the current bare knuckle fighting championship strawweight female champion, Britain Hart. And this is her first movie. We were able to get her involved with it, and she's just got a phenomenal look. She's beautiful, she's strong, but she's badass. Like, she's a real, she's the real bare knuckle champion. So she had a great look in the film. She plays one of the female assassins, and they kind of have a meet and greet outside. So they have a really cool fight scene together.
She looks like business and a half.
All business, man. The jumpsuit alone is like crazy, right?
Yeah. All right, here we go.
This is the iconic warehouse scene. Yeah, I'm looking for some people. So
I gotta say, you cut an imposing figure right there. It looks good.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I told you, like, I was concerned on, I really was. I was concerned. I'll be honest. I have no problem talking about my ego. Like, yes, I am full of myself at certain times, right? We have to be confident, but I'm nervous too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want people to like enjoy it. And, again, I might not look like Jean-Claude Van Damme, but you know what I mean? We'll see. We had an inside joke, Manny Ayala. John Wick obviously is big, so they were good. They were calling me Juan Wick. They said I'm going to be Juan Wick. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
very cool. All right, let's go to the next picture here. This is an interesting one.
So this is my girl Elena handling business there with one of the assassins. That is a great stunt actor named Lawrence Walder. He's an amazing guy. Cool. I think you're going to see him in a lot of stuff. We're hopefully going to be doing some more work together. He's phenomenal. They may steal the show. I'm gonna say this. I'm not going to tell you where this is, but this specific sequence, this may, I'm good at all my stuff, but this one, the way they worked and the configuration of where they were, that was a very, very tough and cool. I think people are going to be very impressed with what they see.
This is a nice visual.
So this is Victor after he gets done dismantling one person, and he's kind of going up in a warehouse looking for the boss. Cool. So yeah, this is a pretty badass scene. I really thought the color, the way they did everything. I got to tell you, I really think the way it was shot, the color schemes of everything. Again, not a big Hollywood budget, but I think people are going to be very impressed. It's going to allude to just the locations. I mean, we had like 20 plus locations. I mean, you don't see that on a level production like this, especially independent film. We were very blessed to work with a lot of great people. Cool. But yeah, this is Victor coming in for business. So
this looks like you got some business taken care of on you.
Yes. So it was funny because in the beginning fight scenes, I try not to get hit too much, right? So as the movie's progressing, I'm like, man, Victor does get jacked up a little bit, you know what I mean? So there's one specific scene. I got some blood and some stuff. We had a wonderful special effects. Justina from North Jersey, she was with us on set, and she did a really, really great job. But I'm gonna let you know that scene right there, hot as hell. Whoever the wardrobe guy was, I think we're gonna fire him, because when I had to wear this damn military tactical thing, I put it on, and within 5 minutes I was drenched. And then I had to fight. I literally do like 3 fight scenes in that thing. It was like god awful. So I think we're gonna work with that wardrobe person. Yeah, he's gonna go unnamed, but we're definitely not working with that guy again.
Gotta suffer for your art. This is nice.
This is a great shot. This is Master Shannon Bogan. I think I spoke about him earlier in the interview. Great martial artist. Used to be a full contact fighter, shoot fighter, and excuse me, he plays one of the assassins as well. He's just got a great look. I mean, the beard, the hat, he looks really, really good. He moves well. I think people are going to be excited, but he's part of the teaser that you guys saw earlier.
Cool.
This is the wonderful and beautiful Jessie Groover. She plays my wife, Danny. Behind her shoulder is Kyla. She plays my daughter. Victor Reyes has 2 kids. He has his daughter and he has a little son. But this is Jessie. I mean, you can see it by her face. I mean, she's unbelievable actress. Cool. She sold everything, and she really brought the best out of me as well. But this was I think I came into the house and I have to tell her something pretty dramatic, and you kind of see her, the concern in her face. But she was great. She was unbelievable. I can't wait to work with her again. Yeah.
And then this, of course, the poster. What were your thoughts on seeing this for the first time, huh?
Man, I was blown away. I got to be honest with you. And it was funny because at this time that this hit, there was a Tom Cruise poster floating around for the Mission Impossible. Mm-hmm. And he's like in the middle of it. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is really cool. And I said, I think my poster's better, but I'm just saying, I was a little more particular.
Yeah.
But to see this, like I said, the attention to detail on an independent film. So let's be honest, there's a lot of great independent films, but sometimes they're not worried about the poster. They're not worried about these other things. And we have a great Mark Kerr is our art designer that does our posters and artwork. And even the first poster that came out was great. But this one is like, this hits my heart, obviously, because I'm in the middle of it. And, you see the scenes in the background. You got the warehouse scene we talked about my right shoulder facing us. Yep. Throwing somebody. That's the one of the twins. Below us is the iconic fight scene with Elena and Britton Hart. And then in the middle there, I believe that's me killing somebody with a plastic or something. So yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. All right. So tell me what's one of the big takeaways from the movie for audiences? What do you want them to walk out of seeing that movie? What do you want them to feel?
I think that, our intention is to take them on a journey, and whether they're a martial artist or they're just, a generic person that's coming in that says, hey, I heard about this movie, I want to see it, and what we're hoping is it's going to be an exciting ride where they're going to relate to the character. They're going to say, oh my God, this, this could be somebody. No, this could be me. This could be me. And kind of enjoy this ride of the Killer X, of watching Victor and the characters kind of like staying in this gray area, trying to stay, above the water, without letting everything fall apart, because I think that relates to life, right? We're always juggling all these things, maybe as husbands, we're working hard, right? We don't want to make our wives bad, but we're still compassionate people. And I think people are going to be, impressed with Victor and how he kind of holds it together. I think they're going to feel for Victor because there's going to be some traumatic moments in it. But I think they're going to be really excited about this ride. And I think that, my hope it's not a one stop. I think people are going to be so excited afterwards. They're going to say, man, Killer X blew me away. I think this is a great storyline. I can't wait to see what comes next. So, I really, that's what our hope is. I think people are going to come aboard this and say, great script, great acting, who are these people? Who's Jose Torres? Who is this people? And they're going to say, man, this guy was great, or I want to see more of what he can do. So that's what I'm hoping. That's what I want people to walk away with and experience a really good film that was shot well. And all the actors, I mean, they worked their tails off. Everybody part of the cast, the entire crew, they were phenomenal.
So where is the film right now? Is it in post-production?
It's in post-production. We do have to reshoot. There's like 2 scenes we have to reshoot, which we're finishing, which I think is going to be possibly November sometime, but early November, but we're still on our tight, our schedule. So basically what's going to happen is our second teaser is already available, which is going to be not available, but ready to be released. And it's going to show more of the story. So people are going to see more characters. They're going to start to get an idea, but it's not going to be one of those, it's not the trailer yet. So it's still just a teaser, but it's going to start giving people a little bit of an idea, right? To kind of get everybody excited. We'll finish the filming, and then the game plan is to release the full-length trailer probably around the holidays. I think maybe around Christmas, everybody's home, December. Then the second trailer will come out in January, and then we're still tight on our February release. And by that time, hopefully we'll know, distribution, non-distribution, what's happening. But, we're in some good talks right now. So we're really, really excited. Yeah, but definitely we're going to do an East Coast premiere first,
cool.
In February. That'll be at the Regal Cinemas in Burlington Township, New Jersey. And then hopefully, hopefully that's not the only stop for the film,
Speaking of that, what are the plans then for the hype train? What are the steps to start building up the talk for this?
We're actually going to be working with a PR manager, a firm that's going to be helping us, which is again amazing, but they kind of came to us, so we're excited to kind of exhaust that. So I know they have their kind of specific things that they're going to do. From the initial stages, like I said, we're going to do our East Coast premiere, then we're going to do a West Coast premiere. Hopefully,
cool.
Right after the West Coast premiere, this thing should take off. We've already partnered with some other movie studios, movie theaters, domestically and internationally. Because we're going to be doing something in Jamaica, we're going to be doing something in Trinidad and Tobago,
nice.
St. Thomas. So I mean, even if nothing else happens, we're definitely going to get the word out. There will be a small theatrical releases where we've been working with some of the movie theaters, but I believe in this thing full-hearted. Honestly, I'm listen. If things happen and everybody knows, and the distribution happens a lot earlier, right, and it gets bought or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Then my original idea changes, and they kind of push their whole, their thing, and the whole release and everything could be different. But our game plan, like I said, is to stick with that February. But we kind of leave it in fate in God's hands and just believe in this thing and ride it, ride it as best that we can.
Speaking of riding it, you mentioned that you've got some sequel plans in the works. Is the Victor Reyes story, is it strong enough to continue and be developed, or do you believe in it that much that you're fully prepared to commit to 2 and 3 and so on and really explore the Victor Reyes universe?
Absolutely. I believe in the Victor Reyes character. As he's developing, I'm developing as well as an actor and a fighter. Within the film, and I think that Victor Reyes has so many different layers. I mean, there's been discussion as far as a trilogy, right, to show this full arc of
Nice.
Victor, and then finishing the trilogy, and then who knows if even maybe doing a prequel to show who Victor was before. So I mean, I really think that there's a lot of potential with the Killer X brand. I really think we're in a unique position because being a Puerto Rican lead is phenomenal. I mean, this is really big. I've gotten a lot of support from the Latino community, and I think it's a dream come true. My parents aren't alive anymore, but I know that they would be embracing it. Both of them being from Puerto Rico and then moving here, kind of with the American dream. And I think that it's iconic. I really do. I think that if the right people see the film and they get as excited, hopefully, as we are and I am, I think it definitely does. And yeah, absolutely, we talked about it. But yeah, we're definitely, I think the Victor Reyes character is something that can develop. You can see a whole full arc of him, where he is, who he was, where's he going. But definitely, yeah. I mean, honestly, almost like a trilogy. Yeah, absolutely.
What about for martial artists? Is there going to be a bit of a legacy for them in this potential series of films?
I think so. What I want to do, like I said, is because the film has so much potential. As I said, we talk about the martial arts, so you're specifically talking about that, showcasing different fighting styles, showcasing fights with weapons, showcasing, some maybe weapons that aren't used all the time on film. There's certain the weapons that are not, kamas. Kamas are not really used a lot. It was funny because I was looking for them, and I think that they were in American Ninja for a short minute, and maybe one or two other ones. Because again, I was a buff, man. I watched martial arts films. You know what I mean? But there's certain things you don't see all the time. Obviously, the bow staff's always in it, the swords and this and that, but there's some iconic stuff that we're hoping to put and continually add. And like I told you about the group fighting and there's just some other details that I really think we could bring to the table. And then hopefully as the budgets get bigger, right, and more effects and more things, and this thing builds, I mean, only the sky's the limit. But I feel like if you don't believe in it and you don't talk about it, it doesn't manifest, because you know what I mean? It just doesn't. Listen, a year ago or 2 years ago when we first met, there was no movie. There wasn't. And here we are now, one movie talking about a sequel. And then we just actually organized something for a film called Paradise Fallen that's going to be shot in St. Thomas, feature film.
Nice.
So I mean, you know what I mean? There's just so many things moving and shaking. But yeah, I definitely think that martial artists, I hope it could be an iconic film that people can refer to, people that go back to, people say, like I said, for the Latino community, just for every community, because we have so many different genders and races and everything represented in this film. Like I said, you have a lead Latino guy, a Russian, female lead, a Hispanic, you know what I mean? Like there's so many different things, and I think that I think it's big. I really think it could be iconic, and I think it could be memorable for a lot of people, to see and watch, and hopefully they believe in supporting it as well.
All right. So how do you go back to the mat after the high that you experienced doing this?
Oh man, it's funny because I have been distant from the school, a lot now, because consistent phone calls and this, that. I mean, you're gonna laugh today. I can't teach today because I have two other interviews. So I have, obviously we're doing this, and then I have two later today. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, everything's happening. I try to stay true to the school. We have a tournament coming up, still doing business. I have a karate tournament October 14th that we're hosting at the Bucks County Community College. Cool. It's called the NAFMA, is my organization. Yeah. So it's called the NAFMA All Valley Under 18 Tournament. So that's October 14th. So, I mean, we're still moving. Unfortunately, obviously my availability has been a little bit different, and, I'm kind of taking phone calls and, working on the next projects, which is like, oh my God, but still teaching, sure, as much as I can.
And if you haven't gone to any of Master Torres' events, go. That's a great time. Always so much energy, so much talent on display there. We were there at the last one, and it was a fantastic time. So do that. But obviously, this is a whole new direction, a whole new evolution of Master Torres, and an introduction of Victor Reyes to the community. So best of luck. I mean, when we talked the first time, and there was still nothing on the table, I think you knew that there was something going on. So it was exciting to hear that from you, and now to see it come to fruition. It's a fantastic thing. You deserve it, and I hope the Killer X franchise is everything that you want it to be.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity, and I think, I have to be honest with you, you're the only person, from podcast world to shows world that I really kind of like included. So you knew from nothing to the next step to the next step. And you know, it's exciting for me too. And I'm very proud, you know, like I said, to have the people. And I mean, you know, like I said, we had the first teaser last week. We're gonna have the second teaser coming out, you know, and working on the trailer and finishing this thing. And it's, you know, post-production. I mean, it's an amazing ride to be on it, and just very blessed to even have this opportunity. You know, this is I think every martial artist at some point in their life is like, man, I want to be in a movie. You know, I think everybody does, you know, and if they lie, I mean, you know what I mean? They're not telling the truth. Everybody wants to punch somebody or do something on film, but to be, you know, the first one, and for me, you know, as a martial artist over, you know, 40 some years, to be like, man, you know, and I get to be the lead in it. Oh my God. Honestly, it's really surreal. So I like to pitch. I remember the first day I showed up to set, they did the makeup, and I was like, oh my God, like, we're really doing this. Like, this is happening, you know? And then I got nervous because I'm like, oh my God, I got to read my lines. So I had my lines in my pocket, my lines on my phone. I mean, I was like ready to go because I was like so afraid of messing up. And I felt the pressure. I felt the pressure from having this opportunity that no one else, you know, a lot of people don't get, having the pressure of the martial arts community to be like, I want to be proud of this. I want people to say, like, you know, hey, if they don't know me, hey man, that looked really cool. You know, this is a really cool thing I want to support. For the people that support me, you know, I want to make them proud for believing and being with me all those years. So I want them to say, you know, hey, that's my boy Jose, man. He did it, man. He did it, and he's trying, you know. So yeah, it's been a really surreal experience, but I'm glad I was able to, you know, I've been able to share this with you, you know, behind the scenes. So I really appreciate your support.
Oh,
as well.
it's been an honor to be a small part of the journey, and it's a testament to that mentality. You know, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You know, you've obviously been ready for this. You've been preparing for it in the background for a long time. So awesome, and I'm so happy for you, and I'm thrilled to see where Killer X goes. So tell the audience where we can find out more information. Where do we follow you? Where do we see more? Where are we when the second teaser and the trailer drop?
If you can, guys, there's actually, you know, we have our main kind of vehicle for this has been the Martial Arts Experience, which is my podcast, my online presence, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. They can follow us there, but there's actually a Killer X Instagram page. There's a Killer X Facebook page. There's a Killer X TikTok that's out now. Yeah, I did. I jumped ship. We actually have a TikTok now. I did that one. But yeah, you can follow those things, but just remember it's Killer X, and that's with an EX. And you know, you can type it right in, Killer X the movie, you'll see it. You could also, you know, like the IMDb page, that's up. Also follow me on there as well. But yeah, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and like I said, TikTok, Killer X or the Martial Arts Experience, and that's experience with the XPERIENC and they'll be able to follow it because that's where we'll be, you know, dropping the next teaser as well on Friday, October 13th.
All right, Friday, October 13th for the next teaser. February 2024 for the release of the film, Martial Arts Experience, Killer X. All of those links will be in the show notes. Master Torres, thank you so much for taking some time out. Again, it's been an honor to be along with you for the ride, just as a small part in the background, but thrilled for what you've accomplished and looking forward to seeing what you do with Victor and the whole Killer X universe. Congratulations again. Best of luck.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you to all your listeners and followers as well for even giving me this moment to talk about the project. So thank you.
Poison Clan rocks the world.